Hey guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel, A Card Day's Work. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I am excited to be participating in a video hop that the Trinity Stamps design team and the video team for Trinity Stamps is putting on today. I'll have all of the hop information linked in the description for you below so you can hop along with us and see all of the amazing, inspiring projects that everyone has created for today. This hop is featuring the new release from Trinity Stamps, which is out this month, October of 2020. This is a heavily Christmas inspired or themed release. So there's lots of holiday inspiration for you guys. And there's other goodies as well. So don't forget to check it out and see all the cool stuff. So for today's card, I went with an ink swiping technique. So I'm using my Distress Oxides here in 3 different colors to go ahead and just swipe directly onto my cardstock. This works best with a cardstock that is nice and smooth. Otherwise, you will get sort of, I don't know, kind of a speckled impression if you're using something like a watercolor cardstock or something along those lines that has a texture to it. You won't get a nice smooth swipe. I think it's fine to have those bare or white spaces. You don't need a solid color, but if you prefer the solid color, you can definitely go that route as well and just apply more ink. I just did a couple light passes and that was good for me. I thought that looked nice, but definitely do whatever you think will look best for the colors that you choose. That's kind of the cool thing about doing techniques like this, ink swiping or ink smushing, is that you can apply this technique with pretty much any color combination, change up the colors in the stamps, and you've got yourself a whole new card using the same technique with just little effort there. So I decided to use the No Place Like Home stamp. Again, this is from the new release from Trinity Stamps. This is an adorable 3x4 stamp set, and it is perfect. It's kind of like a little house. The roof and chimney do come separately, so you don't have to use them together with this sentiment. You can decide to use them together or use them individually, whatever you prefer. I thought it looked cute with the little roof on top, so I went ahead and used them both together, and I decided to do a little bit of heat embossing. When you're doing heat embossing, especially on an inked background, you do want to make sure that your background is completely dry before you go ahead and apply your embossing powder. I took a heat tool. I used the Ranger Heat It tool to dry my panel before I applied some anti-static powder. And if you have questions about any of the products that I'm using, definitely feel free to ask, but everything will be linked down below for you as well. Once I applied that anti-static powder, I did go ahead and ink with a sticky embossing ink and then pour on my white embossing powder. I melted that with my heat tool and then now I'm just trimming down the panel. I decided that I wanted to kind of have it look more like a house and so I trimmed right to the edges of where the stamp was, and then I took a pair of scissors and I cut around the edge of the roof line and the chimney. Now when you're doing this, at least for me, I wanted to leave a little bit of a border around the outside just because I thought that that would help accentuate those white lines that I heat embossed without them getting lost or feeling, I don't know, too crowded or cramped close to the edge there. Then I went ahead and put some foam tape on the back of this. Now I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do. Originally, I kind of thought about putting some patterned paper behind this and sort of matting it on either one or several sheets of colored cardstock just to kind of give it a little something extra, because when I laid it on the white cardstock, I do like a clean and simple card, but I just felt like it was kind of getting lost in the white background of everything. Just because it does have some white on it, plus with the white heat embossing, it was just a little too white, and I felt like it needed just a little something extra to kind of spruce it up and make it a little bit more exciting. So when I started to pair the cardstocks, I don't know, something about it just felt off to me. I didn't really like the way that it looked, and maybe I just didn't have the right color cardstock for the occasion, but I decided that I was going to get a little fancy, and I grabbed some of my spray inks. Now these are a gloss acrylic spray. These are Dina Wakley. They're from the Ranger line, and they are great because they kind of sit on top of the paper instead of absorbing into it like some of the other ink sprays that I have tried. So I used 2 different colors that coordinated, goodness gracious, very well with my color palette for the house. Now you do want to be careful not to put anything on it right away. I was kind of hovering it over top just to make sure that it looked okay with the colors. But if you put anything on top, the ink will smear and you'll have kind of like dragged lines in it. So you do want to set that aside and let it dry completely before you put anything on top. I did go ahead and use my dedicated craft room fork to tie a cute little ribbon in red so that I could attach that to my house. I don't know why or what it is, but I think that blues and whites for Christmas with a bright red bow just looks so pretty every time. I don't know, it gets me. I absolutely love it. So I wanted to put a ribbon across the bottom underneath the sentiment. So I used my ATG. Now when you're doing this, you have to be careful because it has a tendency to try to roll up into the mechanism there. So if you're using a tool like mine, just be sure to hold the end of your ribbon so it doesn't get sucked up inside. I did go ahead and peel off the one piece of foam tape here. Now, if you're smart and thinking ahead, unlike me, you should probably put the ribbon on before you attach the foam tape. That would be probably the more ideal situation. But when I put the foam tape on the back, I didn't know I wanted to add a ribbon yet. If you watch my channel ever, you'll know that I'm a fly by the seat of my pants crafter, and I kind of just add things as they come to my mind or as I get there. So I don't always do them in the best order, but I hopefully can save you guys some time by letting you know about what I would have done differently after the fact. I did go ahead and get my bow ready. I had a little hard time finding my super glue. Why am I using super glue, you might ask? Because I am super impatient and I don't like to have to wait for the regular wet glues to dry. So super glue it is for me when I attach a bow to my cards, but you can definitely use a regular liquid adhesive if that works for you. That finished off the card, you guys. Super gorgeous, super simple, and easy to make for your holiday cards if you want to try it out this year. If you have questions or anything, let me know. Be sure to drop a comment down below to let me know what you think about the project. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video, and I'll see you guys in another one really soon.